Hi, how are my big spenders doing today? It's absolutely lovely here in the always beautiful Belleville, Illinois. Um, I spent most of the day so far out doing fun stuff with CJ because it's August and we are officially in school prep mode. Yeah, they moved back to Kansas City sometime around August 20th. We're not sure yet. We're just waiting for final details before we shore up everything. So yeah, um, CJ's much more of a homebody than I am. So a big day out basically consisted of going out to lunch, getting pedicures, and getting the car washed. There was some talk about maybe going to get coffee, which would be for me because CJ doesn't drink anything with caffeine. I don't know how that happened. Um, but they could get something else or a snack and we could hang out at the coffee house, but decided, nah, let's go on back home. So I thought, well, I got found time. I'm going to knock out my weekly little check in a little bit early. Let's see. Good stuff coming about. I have a favor to ask of you all, though. I hope that you've all read the post I made over the weekend. Um, I can't remember the title of it, and I don't have it right in front of me right now. But it's the one about wheelchairs. Please read it. I know, because I know who's paying for this. I know I don't have to worry about any of you being horrible or even slightly unpleasant because someone's in a wheelchair. But yeah, we all know people who aren't quite as filled with grace. So I would like to encourage you to share what I wrote on social media. Just, I think it's something that, I mean, I would like for you to share all my posts on social media, but I'm not going to ask that. But this one, I think it benefits far more people than just me. Um, if you haven't read the post, the gist of it is I was on Threads Saturday, and this woman who I refer to as paralegal Pam um, made some joke about how she was at the gate waiting for a plane and there were 8 people in wheelchairs and she witnessed a miracle because 6 of them walked onto the plane. Hi, I'm one of the people who does that because I have to. And I would venture to say that anyone who has taken a wheelchair through an airport and then walked to the jetway didn't do it for fun. Didn't do it for convenience. Definitely didn't do it for convenience. Um, so, uh, needless to say, I was pretty fired up. And Threads brings out the worst in me, so I did send some very choice facts to paralegal Pam. No offense to Pam, who's possibly watching. Hi, I love you and know you wouldn't do any of this shit. Anyway, um, I just wrote a little bit about what it's like to be what's called an ambulatory wheelchair user, which is somebody who can walk but needs a little extra assistance sometimes. And it's a lesson that I'm always stunned. People sometimes need to have a little reminder that, yeah, otherwise, they go on social media and have rants that make them look like they're complaining about disabled people getting better parking spaces. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if Paralegal Pam wants to see what life is like with 2 broken knees and walking on them for a couple of years, I could probably help out with that, but I won't. But give that a read. give it a share. Uh, it might be something that someone in your sphere, in your realm, might need to hear. And I'm glad to, very happy to bring them the information they need. That got me fired up. But speaking of flights, um, I'm excited. Um, now that I've got my awesome Tulsa trips out of the way, and they were awesome, I will be writing more about the second one, the one I did last week, this week. I'll be posting more about it this week, because it wasn't just grief-stricken history from going to the Oklahoma City National Memorial. It was a great visit. I mean, that was it. I needed to go. Um, Also, since you're paid subscribers, I hope you have listened to my talk with Paul. Man, uh, it was worth driving the hour and a half to Oklahoma City and back from Tulsa, just to get that hour with Paul, which for me was actually more like 3 hours because we hung out and talked aside from what was recorded. But wow, he's a great guy. Has a lot of interesting things to say. Has an interesting approach to the world that more of us need to hear. So anyway, coming off my July Tulsa trip, so happy. And now I get excited because California trips are coming up. Uh, August 25th, I fly out to Oakland, and then I'm going to hop over to the one so I can get a little time on the coast that day. Probably stop in Santa Clara, or Santa Cruz. Excuse me, Santa Clara is the other way. Stop in Santa Cruz, maybe. Uh, got to stop in the artichoke capital of the world, Kesterville. Uh, get me some fried artichoke hearts if they're still around. I can't imagine they've gone anywhere. They've been there for a million years. And then I get to see my friend Mary and her awesome family and spend time with them. I'm also, they live in Salinas, and I'm going to stop in at the John Steinbeck Center. Haven't been there since 2012 and love it. And last time I was in Salinas, I didn't actually get a chance to go into Monterey. I was so busy. I was there for a Woody Guthrie thing, um, which was a life changer. I was busy having my life changed and didn't actually get to go see things like sea lions and shit. So this time I'm going to try to leave the life changing events aside so I can do Monterey shit and see the pretty things and see the Pacific from there. And I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to see Mary and her people. They're great. Talking to one of my LA friends about potentially making a day trip to San Luis Obispo, which is about the halfway mark between LA and Salinas, where I'll be staying. And I've always wanted to go there. And my friend that I talked to was like, I can't believe you've never been there. It's like the perfect place for you. We have to go. So we're going to try to meet up for coffee. Drive an hour and a half, have coffee, drive back home. Uh, Worth it. Totally worth it. And if coffee doesn't work out, I might just go down there by myself just to poke around and squeeze in some driving along the coast, which I've always wanted to do, despite getting grossly carsick, despite on hairpin curves especially, despite being pretty not fond of heights. Don't care. I've always wanted to do the California coast drive, so that would allow me to squeeze in a little bit of it, although a lot of the main sites aren't accessible now because they're doing a lot of road repair, bridge repairs in the Monterey area. So we'll see what I actually wind up getting to see. I'll be sharing it. So yeah, super excited about that Monterey trip. And last weekend, I found a reason to go to Los Angeles. I mean, it's not like I need a reason to go anywhere. It just helps me justify it to myself. My friend Chip, who I have been friends with, wow, 18 years or so. We met on a Wilco fan board pre-Facebook, but we've never met in person. And he is currently living in Sacramento, and he's been there for a while, and I think he's going to be there for a bit. I'm throwing empty cans all over the place. Chip is an exceptional photographer, and I am trying to pull up his Instagram. I'll put it in I'll type it up. He is Chip W. Park, all one word, all lowercase, on Instagram. And he takes incredible photos around Sacramento. Not of the capital and stuff like that, but of the more impoverished areas. And he texted me when I was in Tulsa last week and said, "Hey, any chance you're going to be in Los Angeles the last week of September?" And I'm like, huh? I wasn't planning on it. Do I need to be? And he has a piece that's going to be in a show in Los Angeles. And he told me the location. I'm like, that's catty corner across the street from this awesome lingerie shop. and you're just like a mile away from where I stay every time I go to Los Angeles. And so it just felt enough like, ooh, things are falling into place. You need to make this happen. It's like, oh, I'm going to make this happen. So I booked my Airbnb. I know, vile words people hate to hear. However, I have my reasons. And one of my reasons is Adam, who is my favorite Airbnb host anywhere. He owns the little guest house I stay in when I go to Los Angeles. It's in Silver Lake. He lives in the house, and his door is like 5 feet from mine. And I love this place because Adam is an incredible host. My place, the little guest house, is maybe 300 square feet. Tiny little, no stove, no oven. It's a kitchen with a dorm fridge, microwave, toaster, sink. That's fine. There's no TV, which is actually kind of a relief because I tend to turn on the TV and leave it on as background noise, and that can't be good for my brain. And when I'm in LA, I don't do that because I can't. He always leaves me a giant bouquet of lilies in my room, which I appreciate because one, I love flowers, and two, I can't have lilies in my house because they are toxic to cats. So that's always a nice treat. And the big part, Adam is an artist, and one of his mediums is antique chandeliers. And to get into my guest house, I have to go through a garage door and walk through Adam's workshop, which is nothing but pieces and parts of old chandeliers everywhere. But the really cool thing is he has a giant tree on the corner of his property, and he lives on a corner in Silver Lake. And he has this giant tree called the chandelier tree. And you can kind of find it sometimes if you look for underground art stuff in Los Angeles. There's still some links to it. He used to light it up, but he doesn't anymore, and I'm not sure why. Inside my little guest house, there's like 4 or 5 working chandeliers. It's like all the lighting is chandeliers. I love it. I absolutely love this place. It's so comfortable. It has the most comfortable bed in the world. Nothing fancy. It's just surrounded by chandeliers, and everything smells like lilies. Uh, so it's pretty much, yeah, oh, you're in heaven. or my version of heaven. And Adam's a really great guy. Might get the nerve to ask him if he wants to do a podcast episode, both as either as an Airbnb owner in Los Angeles who kind of has a tourist attraction in his front yard that he made, but also because he's a former circus performer. And oh my God, I need a traveling circus performer on the podcast. So anyway, I still need to buy my flight. Southwest is giving me hives with all their changes. And their prices are jumping already. The assigned seating changes don't go into effect until the end of January. You can tell they're amping up for it by they have started shifting their tickets into classes. And I got an email today from Southwest telling me, hey, since you have traveled with us as a passenger of size and have purchased 2 seats in the past, here's what you can expect when the change goes through. Not thrilled. It's doable, but it makes it a lot less accessible for a lot of people. As Southwest's policy, which is the friendliest fat policy in the industry, because they have open seating, they encourage you to buy 2 tickets and they'll refund the second one after the flight if the flight isn't sold out. I've never done that because it's also possible. It's like, well, if you don't buy that second ticket, if you want to risk it, you can check in and tell them that you're flying as a passenger of size, and if they have it available, you'll get a second seat. I have flown I don't know how many flights, so many flights since like 2018 when I started using this policy, and I've never had any problem. I really don't want to float Southwest a $400 loan every time I go to LA. Don't want my money wrapped up like that. So I'm not thrilled, but they still are promising the refunds. So it's not horrible like the other airlines where you buy 2 seats, and Southwest still has the idea that they're flying people, not seats. But this would all go away if they would just make normal sized seats on the airplanes instead of trying to cram everybody in, cram in as many bodies as they can. So anyway, I'm not sure how I got to that, but I'll be writing about that at length, I'm sure. But anyway, there's that's what I know about it so far. So you don't have to go looking for the information if that you have that on your to-do list. Okay, some non-travel news. I'm going to tell it really quickly because I know I've rambled on for almost 20 minutes already. But I figured I'd let y'all know first. How many of you remember Sassy magazine? It started in 1987 when I was around 15. If you weren't familiar with it, it was, the demographic was Robin. Weird, alternative girls who still like pretty things, who love music, and who care about the world. And that's pretty much what Sassy was about. The creator and editor-in-chief, Jane Pratt, was my journalism hero. Sassy ended about the time most of its readers hit adulthood, but then Jane did a magazine called Jane that was age appropriate for those of us who'd been Sassy readers. And then she did a long running online project called XO Jane that ended a few years ago. And in the past year, she has started a Substack. It's called Another Jane Pratt thing. Um, and as soon as I saw it a few months ago, it's like, whoo, paid subscription. I'm in. I want everything Jane has to offer. And since it's still pretty new, um, there's not a ton of traffic yet, but it's growing. And with the way Substack is, you can leave comments. I wound up having several conversations in the comments with Jane. So imagine being 52 and you're talking about writing with your childhood writing hero. That was huge. And then it got bigger, and she put out a call, said, inviting people to email her. And so I did. And I told her what I hadn't said in the comments, which is, hey, I'm an unemployed writer. Here's what I've done. You can get writing samples on my 2 Substacks. And I got an email from Jane Pratt about how much she loves my writing. And I have a deadline this week. So I'm not telling the news yet. I'm trying to keep from publicly announcing it until I have that published piece in my hands, my screen, wherever it will be. But anyway, yeah, keep an eye out for that. I'm so happy. 15-year-old Robin melted into a puddle of butter and glitter like last week. She's gone. She has fulfilled everything she ever wanted in life now. So anyway, I will leave you with that. Happy Monday. Yeah, I'm having a good one. So I should go write. Thank you. Thanks for your support.